Aho, ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow film slash movie slash show enthusiasts. Welcome back to yet another review. So, unlike my usual other reviews, I'm kind of doing this one just off the cuff, just because I felt like it. I had the inclination to do a lot of reviews today, and this is the next one up on the chopping block. So, which one are we talking about today? If you didn't look at the title, you wouldn't know. But if you did, you would obviously know. The one we are talking about today is none other than the hit Amazon show slash series Has Been Hotel. So, a little context and a little history about this. Excuse me. This is a show. I'm going to call it a show, even though I think it's a little bit more than that. This is a show that I didn't even honestly know was on Amazon. So, recently, in the whole month of January, I was basically binging all of the Amazon shows that there were, because at the end of January, which at this point is past, uh, ads were coming because Jeff Bezos wants to take our money even more, even though he makes about, what was it, $7 million and change an hour. So, he's obviously making not enough, and he needs to have ads on Amazon Prime Video and just make the service more worse. So, because ads were coming, I was trying to get through as many Amazon shows as I could. And one of the shows that was on there that my friend told me about was Hazbin Hotel. And I was a little shocked. I was like, what the fuck? So, to kind of give some history on Hazbin Hotel, it came out long ago, and now I feel like it started a whole genre of doing this because Amazing Digital Circus did this now, Hazbin Hotel did this, and Hazbin Hotel obviously has some offshoots like Hell of a Boss, which has some pretty decent actors and actresses in it as well. But it basically spawned this whole era of trying to just pitch stuff through YouTube and get enough support for it, I feel like, to get picked up by a major carrier. Which in Hell of a, or not Hell of a Boss's case, in terms of Hazbin Hotel's case, apparently it did. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't do much research or anything before this. Like I said, I don't even have a script for this, but Hazbin Hotel is on Amazon, and I decided to watch it. And whoo mama was I surprised. So my friend told me it was a musical. And at first I was like, a musical? What the hell? I don't really remember too much of the pilot, except that the pilot was pretty good. And one of the main things that spawned from the pilot, aside from its explosion into the poor scene, was it spawned an entire show on Amazon. Now, I don't remember much singing in the pilot, but there's a lot of singing in this show now. Now I'll get to whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but this show, similar to Hell of a Boss, also apparently has a pretty good cast of actual, singers. Because the singing in the show is pretty damn good, I'll be honest, even though I'm not one to like singing. But what is the show about? So basically, if you didn't see the pilot, which I still think is on YouTube, the show is about Charlie, who's pretty much the daughter of Satan, the daughter of Lucifer, and she's in hell. Now, hell is filled with sinners, but Charlie was born there, so she's not necessarily a sinner. Now, what ends up happening in the lore of the show, and obviously, I always say this, we're gonna go over some light spoilers about the show. Nothing too crazy though, but in the show, basically every year heaven comes down and basically just trims out the fat of hell. Hell is getting a little overpopulated. There's a little too many sinners for heaven's liking. So they come down and they just brutalize them. They murder them, and it's very gory and it's very not fun. Now, one thing about the series I do want to mention here is the series is not for children. As much as it looks like it is, it contains a lot of adult themes, cursing and stuff, even though there's musicals in it, right? There's songs like pretty much in every episode, sometimes multiple of them. This is not a show for kids. It really is not. It might look like one, but there's a lot of gore, a lot of drugs, sexual imagery and stuff, and even topics about sexual assault, which I was shocked about that they did. I wish the show went even further. If you're gonna go this far, which it does go pretty far, go even fucking further. And sometimes they do, right? But sometimes I feel like they tone it down. Now maybe it's because it's on Amazon and they have to, be within a certain age rating, of course, but I felt like they went pretty far, and I would have liked if they just went further into it, into their niche of like, okay, this is kind of dark and fucked up. Now it's a little, framed not as such when you look at it initially, similar to Invincible season 1. It's like, oh, you think the first episode's going to be like this, but actually no, it's pretty fucking dark, which I really like about the series. But anyway, after going off on that tangent, it's about Charlie in hell trying to reform the people of hell because she's born here, so she's not necessarily evil. And one thing specifically about Charlie I really liked was the fact that she's so nice. She is the daughter of Satan, and she's one of the nicest people you will ever meet. In fact, in the series, I was shocked whenever I heard her curse. Like Charlie cursing, you know that's a big event because I'm like, holy shit, she must be angry. Because there's so many times in the series where just fucked up shit happens. People are mean to her, people are fucked up. Again, you're with the denizens of hell and they're crapping on her and she just takes it in stride. She honestly loves the people of hell. And that's why she starts the Hazbin Hotel to try and reform them. To try and prove that, even sinners deserve a second chance and they can go to heaven. So I'm not going to reveal too much more of the plot, but that's basically the initial tidings of it. So what do I feel about this show? As you might have been able to tell already with how I've described Charlie and stuff, I actually was shocked and astounded by how much I actually like the show. Now, do I think everyone will like the show? No. Do I think it is a perfect show? No. But this show did one specific thing that really, really tickled my balls. And what is that? They made cute characters. I'm gonna list off some of my characters here that are my absolute favorites. And when I say like I like them, I was shocked at how much I actually like them. So my favorite characters in the show are Charlie, Serpentius, Alistor, and Nifty. And obviously Lucifer. I really like him too. He's a little silly though, but for the most part, those characters are so silly. The characters themselves are so varied, right? Obviously, they're all pretty much bad, fucked up people, but there's like a range and a spectrum of fucked up in this show. Alistor is more like devious, Nifty is more like innocent, Serpentius is just silly. Like there was so many characters, I was so shocked at how much I liked them. The story to the show itself, and again, obviously it having to be musicals, definitely downgrades it a bit in my eyes because even though I can objectively say I think the musicals are pretty good, they're varied, and I was shocked at how many they actually did. I feel like to do what they did takes a lot of creativity and a lot of like legwork to make it fit into the show as well with the plot, with the story, and how it sounds and everything. I think objectively speaking, it was done very nicely. It's just I really hate musicals. Like I don't like singing. But if you like that shit, you're probably gonna eat this shit up. It's not bad. Some of the songs I think are whatever, but some of them are pretty good. And again, I don't like any of them, but trying to take an objective stance here, they're pretty decent. Now, some of the things I didn't like about the show. I love the plot, I love the characters, especially when they do cute things. I think the animation for me carries it. Some of the characters, just how they act, carry it too. Again, I really love Alistar and Charlie and Nifty. They're all just like they're all just little gems. Like again, Charlie is so nice. Alistar is very strong. The themes and motifs they do in the show, and this is no surprise to anyone who've watched my other reviews. I really like strong characters you can't fuck with, and they do that very well for some of the characters here, including Alistar. They set up a pretty nice lore. That's one of the things I was shocked about. There's a good amount of lore in the show, and any show with underlying lore where you're like you want to know more, I think is a great thing. And that's definitely here. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't get answered that you know has happened in the world that you want to see more of, and there's hints and stuff they drop here and there. And it's not super deep. I might be making it sound like some One Piece level of like underlying like stuff for the future, and it's definitely not, but it is there. It's not the most complicated thing. It's not like long hauls like One Piece is, but it's pretty fucking good. And again, I just love the characters. I love the art style. I love a lot of things. Now, again, some negatives that I thought about the series. Obviously, the singing. That's more of a personal negative, but this is a personal review, so it is what it is. But the singing was whatever. Again, I think some of the singing hit, some of it didn't. Some of it was kind of just pushed in just to have at least one singing every episode. The plot is pretty good. The characters are great. But in terms of like negatives, I just think this show is very niche. I think only certain people will like this show, probably people similar to me, so people who are deranged. But in general, it's more of just like it is its own thing. In terms of the show, the only other negative I can really say is towards the end. Obviously, they do great with the singing scenes. I think they do great with the character interactions. There's character development throughout the thing. They introduce a lot of varied characters. Some characters you want to see more, and maybe in future seasons, which I'm assuming are going to come, you'll see them maybe there. I'm not sure. However, one thing I really didn't like was the action scenes. The action scenes were kind of whatever. I feel like they either weren't like done well, and again, I don't want to shit on whoever did it, but I feel like the last one in specific, like the final action scene in the show, was kind of rushed. Now, granted, they did have a time limit because the show is like what, a regular show, it's like 30 minutes. Taking out like ads and stuff, it's probably like 20 something. But if this was shown on TV, I'm not even sure if it is, but regardless, it's a regular sized show. It's a regular duration show. And in the final one, they needed to have like half the episode be like explanation and interaction for the most part. So I feel like for the final episode, they really crammed the fight in and it kind of went too fast. But aside from that, I really can't think of other negatives unless it's just like, it's a show you're going to like if you like musicals, if you like the whole theme of hell and demons and stuff like that. It's not any sort of scary or creepy show, it is what it is. But I think going into it, the people who are going to like it are going to love it, and the people who just don't like any of that stuff in general are not going to like it. Overall, I think it's a very solid show. I was very surprised. I was very shocked. And the cute stuff, especially with the themes of like how fucked up it is, the dichotomy there really, really got me. And some of the characters are so cute and silly, it's ridiculous. Like, it's so weird. It's like it's for kids, but it's not. It like appeals to your inner kid as an adult. It's very, very strange. But overall, I really like the show. I don't have much negatives to say about it. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking very forward to season 2. And I'm just very excited to see more. The plot is a little lacking. Most of the plot is centered around, I guess, Charlie. And I would say Alastor. They're like the main players of the plot. Vaggie is there too. Vaggie being like Charlie's main love interest. But I wish they focused a little bit more on other characters as well. Like they gave them at least their own episode, like Nifty. Serpentius gets a little bit of time too, but it's like these characters don't really get their own full-fledged episode, except if you're Angel Dust. They really like him for some reason. So it's like one certain character will get their time in the light, and then other characters around them, you'll kind of learn a little bit about them through that main character they're focusing on. But in general, they don't really vie far. They don't go far from the main cast. Angel Dust, Alastor, Charlie, maybe Vaggie a little bit. But in terms of everyone else, they're kind of just on their own. They're hoping for some character development and lore from other characters, just, them sucking off their limelight. So that's a little bit sad. That's probably the only other negative I could really pick out. And it's not even a negative, it's just I want more. It could have been, I guess, done better, but hopefully they'll do it better in the future, and they probably will. I hope they flesh out more of the characters. Overall, I think the show's an absolute gem. If you like musicals, or if you like, I guess, decent plots with cute stuff that's also pretty dark, you will probably really like Hazbin Hotel. On my personal rating, 5 out of 10 being neutral, I honestly think I have to give the show, and I'm shocked by this, I have to give this show 8 out of 10 Satans. I'm like so astounded. I really am. Like just thinking back to watching this, I just have great memories. I just laughed. I kept pausing. I kept rewinding things, watching it again because the characters looked so silly in such serious situations. It was an absolute fucking treat. I really liked it. 8 out of 10 Lucifers. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed. Please let me know if you want me to review anything else, and please let me know if you like the off-the-cuff ones more than the scripted ones. They are a lot quicker to do, and I'll probably just do whichever one I feel like. But tell me what you want if you care in the comments below. Please watch me on Twitch TV/Tecnics channel, and I hope everyone enjoyed.